I learned how to preserve. Preserve tomatoes in jars when cheap. Eat them in winter. Hello, nice to see you again on the Clever Tricks channel. By chance, I had the opportunity to visit a friend's house, who is also a chef at a 5-star restaurant. He revealed to me the secret to keeping tomatoes fresh all winter without spoiling. I was extremely surprised to hear this from my chef friend. With just an extremely simple method, he can keep tomatoes red, fresh, not crushed or soft, even after many months. It sounds hard to believe, but you can completely do it yourself at home. Watch the whole video to discover this great secret. I have created subtitles in multiple languages. Please select your preferred language. Comment below and let me know which country you are watching from. It's amazing that we can connect from all around the world. Method 1. I prepare 2 kilograms of washed tomatoes and will cut them into crosses. I pour 1 liter of water into the pot and we will wait for the water to boil. I have prepared a bowl of cold water here waiting. I put the tomatoes in boiling water to blanch for 30 seconds. I take the tomatoes out of boiling water, put them in cold water, and let them sit for 30 seconds. After the tomatoes are in cold water, I peel them. See, it's very easy to do. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. I will cut the cleaned tomatoes in this way in half and take the core in the middle. We will cut the tomatoes into smaller cubes. I will transfer the cut tomatoes to a bowl. I have prepared the washed jars and will pour the tomatoes in. I have prepared the washed jars and will pour the tomatoes in. Do not fill the jars to the brim, and I will add a little more salt to the tomatoes. We also fill the second jar. I wipe the mouth of the jar clean. I will cover the jar with a new and clean lid. We will prepare the jars for sterilization. I put a cloth at the bottom of the pot and arrange the jars. We'll pour water to the height of the lid. I put the pot on the stove and sterilize for 30 minutes from the time the water boils. After 30 minutes of sterilization, I will take the jars out of the pot. Let the prepared jars cool down and store in a dark place until use. Method 2. I will cut an onion into rings. I cut the onion. Prepare 2 glass jars and we will add spices to them. Prepare 2 glass jars and we will add spices to them. I will add a bay leaf to each jar. Then we put the washed tomatoes in the jar. Choose the smaller one. Add a few onion rings to the jar. Then add the tomatoes again, and add the onions again. We will also fill the second jar. Now I will need boiling water. I pour boiling water into the jars. I will cover the jars and let them stand for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I will pour the liquid from the sieve into the pot. Now I will prepare the sauce. I will add 3 tablespoons of sugar to this liquid. I will add 1 tablespoon of salt. I will add 5 tablespoons of 5% vinegar. This is the amount of sauce for 2 700 milliliter jars. I put the pot on the stove and wait for the sauce to boil. Then pour boiling water into the jar. Finally, I cover the jars with new, clean lids. Let the jars cool down and store in a dark place until ready to use. If you like the recipe, please leave a heart in the comments and like. Thank you. Method 3. Today, I will show you how to preserve fresh tomatoes for winter. Prepare 2 kilograms of tomatoes. First, I will wash the tomatoes. Remove green stems. Then I slice the tomatoes. Put the tomatoes in a clean bowl. I cut the bell pepper into pieces. I have created subtitles in multiple languages. Please select your preferred language. Comment below and let me know which country you are watching from. It's amazing that we can connect from all around the world. Put bell pepper in blender. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Next, I chopped the parsley. Put on the waiting plate. Chop or slice 5 cloves garlic. I minced all these ingredients. Put garlic on plate with parsley. Write me in the comments, which country are you watching this video from? It's great to know that we can connect with each other from all over the world. Now I need to clean and prepare the glass jars. I put 2 tablespoons of bell pepper in each jar. Add parsley and garlic. Then put the tomatoes inside. Be careful not to fill the jar to the top. I have filled the jars and will now make the dipping sauce. I pour 1 liter of water into the pot. Add 1 teaspoon salt, 4 tablespoons sugar, 2 tablespoons 5% vinegar. I stir well to dissolve. Then I poured this sauce into the jar to cover the tomatoes. I cover the jar with a clean, sterilized lid. Prepare a deep pot, line the bottom with a towel, then place the jars in. Pour water into the pot until it reaches the lid of the jar. Once the water starts boiling, I will sterilize for 35 minutes. This process needs to be carried out at a stable temperature. After 35 minutes of sterilization, I removed the jar from the pot. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Let the jars cool naturally. When cool, the lid in the middle should be concave. Store jar of tomatoes in a cool, dark place until ready to use. Method 4. Prepare 2 kilograms of tomatoes. Cut the tomatoes into 4 pieces. I have created subtitles in multiple languages. Please select your preferred language. Comment below and let me know which country you are watching from. It's amazing that we can connect from all around the world. Put the chopped tomatoes in a large bowl. One bunch of dill, 1 bunch of parsley, herbs of your choice. Use the whole stem, don't throw it away. Cut the vegetables into bite-sized pieces. Put the vegetables on a plate. Next, take 400 to 450 grams of onions, cut into thin slices. Arrange the onions on a plate. Thinly slice the garlic. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Put the garlic in a small bowl and wait. So I have all the ingredients to prepare. Next, I prepare a clean and dry glass jar. I use a 1.5-liter jar. Put 1 part of garlic cloves at the bottom of the jar. Add a few whole black peppercorns. Add herbs to the jar. Add tomatoes. A layer of onions. Add another part of garlic cloves. Add herbs. Continue to fill the jar with tomatoes. Another layer of onions. Dill and parsley. The last layer is 1 clove of garlic. Pour boiling water into the jars. Cover tightly. Let stand for 15 minutes to heat the ingredients inside. After 15 minutes, pour the water from the jar into a pot. Now, boil that water to make the sauce. For 1.5-liter jars, 2 teaspoons salt, 18 grams, 2.5 tablespoons sugar, 1 tablespoon refined unflavored cooking oil, bring the sauce mixture to a boil. Pour 25 milliliters 9% vinegar into each jar. Pour the boiling sauce over the tomatoes. Screw the lids on tightly. Turn the jars upside down to check for tightness. Cover the jars with a large warm towel and let them cool completely. Can be stored at room temperature for up to 1 year. Method 5. I washed 1.5 kilograms of tomatoes. Choose tomatoes that are not bruised. I have prepared 2 clean glass jars. First, I will put the tomatoes in the jar. Lower gently so as not to bruise the tomatoes. Please write me in the comments what country you are watching me from. It's great to know that we are watching together all over the world. I have finished chopping the tomatoes and now I need boiling water. I will pour boiling water over the tomatoes. I'll cover it and leave it like that for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, pour the water from the jar into a pot. I put 50 grams of sugar in this amount of water and 50 milliliters of 9% vinegar, 2 teaspoons salt. This is for a 2.5-liter jar. You can adjust the ratio to your needs. I put the pot on the stove. I will stir and wait for the mixture to boil. While waiting for the water to boil, I will chop a clove of garlic. Where are you from? It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. I finished chopping the garlic, the water was boiling, and I took the pot off the stove. First, I put some minced garlic in the jar. Then I will pour in the boiled soaking water. I will wipe the mouth of the jar clean so the lid fits properly and cover it with a new clean lid. The jar is hot, be careful. Now I'm going to shake the jar to disperse the garlic evenly. Tomatoes made this way are called snow tomatoes. Let jars cool. Store in a cool, dark place. The jar will keep for a year or more. If you like this recipe, please leave me a heart in the comments and hit the like button. Thanks. Method 6. First, wash the tomatoes. Wash the tomatoes directly under the tap. Clean the core of the tomatoes and cut them into slices. Write to me in the comments which country you are watching me from. It's great to know that we are watching together around the world. Slice the tomatoes. Put the tomatoes in a large bowl. Cut an onion. Put it on a plate. Chop 4 cloves of garlic. Put it in a small bowl. Chop the parsley. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. Put it on a plate. Need to add bay leaves and peppercorns, so I have enough ingredients. I use clean, dry glass jars for the next step. Put a bay leaf in each jar. Add a few peppercorns. Put the garlic in. Put the onions in. Add the parsley. Add the tomatoes. Now I add the onions, parsley. Add the tomatoes again. Add the onions. And finally, I add the pepper. I add half a teaspoon of salt to each jar. Add a tablespoon of 5% vinegar to each jar. Botulism bacteria does not grow in an acidic environment. Fill the jars with water. Wipe the mouths of the jars clean. Cover the jars with clean lids. Need a deeper pot? Put a towel at the bottom of the pot and arrange the jars inside. Fill the pot with water up to the mouth of the jar. Put the pot on the stove. Cover it, and from the time the water boils, I will sterilize for 35 minutes. We do the sterilization at 80 degrees Celsius. After 35 minutes, I remove the pot from the stove. When the jars have cooled, the middle of the lid should be concave. Store the jars in a dark place until use. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please click like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. I would be very happy if you turn on the notification bell. Remember to subscribe to the channel to support. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.